Good morning. Here in Hammanskraal, of course, the Congress of the People is also gearing up for that final push where they're going to try and woo voters for the very last time to try and convince them to, of course, put their cross behind the party as the country gears up for the 2019 national election. So we in Hammanskraal, where the party has started with a door-to-door campaign. So a small group has just gone into the community where they will be engaging with some of the community members to try and of course get the community of Hammanskraal to rally behind the party on Wednesday when we will be going to the polls. You can see here there is where the party leader Mosiuoa Lekota will be in maybe just a short while, in about an hour's time if we have it correct, will be addressing the group here to try and of course get the mood right, get the atmosphere right, and also just inject that confidence in the party. So let's speak to some of the members who are here, who have confidence in COPE, and just find out why they have actually put their support behind the party. Right now I'm joined here by a community member to be precise, who joined COPE today. And so let's find out, who is he? Why did he decide to make this decision to join the party today? If you can just introduce yourself. Thank you so much for joining us, sir.
Thank you. I'm Bafana Masango. I reside in Ward 74 in Temba, Hammanskraal. I decided to join COPE because of all these parties. COPE is a party that doesn't speak much about or against land expropriation without compensation. I see COPE as a party which doesn't have fought for whatever struggles that a lot of people are now voting for, which is now people in South Africa must live together in peace and harmony instead of bearing on the past, though the past is still in our veins, but we must start trying to look forward without any fighting, any ethnicity, any group of racial people.
Before joining COPE today, where was your political home?
My political home was Pan-African Congress, PAC.
And you made this, why didn't you make the decision a long time ago? Why today? What made that switch of mind for you?
Truly speaking, without mentioning names, the former president of PAC, Clarence Makwetu, didn't have those stance of the party that the people who formed COPE, like Robert Sobukwe, had before. And he was too close to the former president Nelson Mandela, of whom we thought maybe he sold the party. Then I seek political home in COPE.
Now, throughout the race to the elections, the campaigns that have been happening, political parties have coined their promises. What are the promises or the policies that, for instance, COPE has been emphasizing that has attracted you to ultimately make this decision?
COPE had added to some of the manifestos some people had, but just because of the land, it is against the land expropriation without compensation. That if may happen, if any other party wants and the land is going to be expropriated without any compensation, we are going to face another third world war.
So you are completely against land expropriation?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
All right. Let's get to maybe some of the other COPE members here. And you, sir, COPE is your political home. You feel confident that Wednesday, that's where you're going to put your cross? Why exactly?
Well, I'm Frank Pretorius. I've chosen COPE of one way. COPE, there's no race in COPE. There's no black people, there's no white people, there's no Indians. Our president of COPE says, our president states it clearly that we are all Africans. And that's why I've chosen COPE. I've chose COPE to vote on Wednesday. I'm going to put my cross with COPE. And I'm confident that COPE will do good.
COPE came into power, joined the political arena in 2009, with a lot of confidence, great numbers. The party has since lost a lot of support on the ground, even in Parliament. And so, when did you join the party?
Well, I've joined the party about a year ago. As I said, there's no color in COPE. We all Africans, and there's no hidden agendas in COPE. That's why I've joined COPE. And I'm really, really confident that people that went away from COPE will join the party eventually.
Apart from the non-racialism or non-racial ideology that you feel is very strong in COPE, what are the other policy-related points that attract you?
Well, if COPE can come into power, I know that there will be free education for all people in South Africa. There will be free medical in South Africa. Everybody will get a home. We will, and COPE has promised that no land will be taken from anybody without compensation.
All right, thank you. We'll leave it at that. Just the last voice, Mayor. You also here, you're putting your cross and your support, confidence behind. Why is that?
Yes, my name is Johanna Nomvete. I'm the General Secretary of COPE Women Movement nationally. Yes, COPE can and COPE will. From its inception in 2008, it has never fluctuated on its policies. We're standing on what we have been saying by then till today. So we wish that all South Africans can open up their eyes and see the clear picture of what we are preaching. Otherwise, more especially in the case of this land issue, lest we become the second Zimbabwe.
Just to ask a question, there's a lot of talk, obviously, dialogue, rigorous dialogue in the country around the whole land issue. It is an emotive and sensitive issue. COPE, being the party it is, in an area such as Hammanskraal, where you would actually realize that a lot of people are still landless, do you think the ordinary grassroots majority of black people agree with that standpoint that land expropriation is not necessary?
We as Congress of the People, we are not against land expropriation. The only factor is without, the phrase without compensation. We do understand that, of course, most people are landless. Most people need lands, more especially for housing. We agree that land can be expropriated, but with compensation. We can't just take away from anybody, anyhow. And
that's not how it has been presented, to be honest and to be fair. We know that there is a clear blueprint and clear structure in terms of how the land expropriation or land reform will be tackled moving forward. The President has tried to delve into that debate, and he has given the assurance that it will be done within the ambit of the Constitution in a very fair manner. So are you not just playing politics again?
No, not really. We really need the redress for the past. But we're not saying we are against expropriation. We are only against without compensation. That's all. It doesn't need to be explained further. It explains itself. Just that.
Okay, now I'll leave it at that. Let's quickly turn our attention to the party spokesperson. I see Mr. Dennis Bloem is also standing by. Kom. Kom wees deel van die gesprek gou.
Yeah.
Now, I think one of the issues that a lot of people have been highlighting about COPE is how your numbers have really gone down substantially so. I mean, you came in 2009, you had how many seats in Parliament? I think about 30.
37.
Yeah, over 30 seats in Parliament. Now you're sitting at 3.
Yes.
So the numbers have gone down, and that maybe is a sign that South Africa might not be that confident in COPE.
No, that was a thing of 2014. We have worked very hard now. I can tell you, and I can tell South Africa, that this time around, we are going to surprise many people. We have done our work door to door, and the response from the people on the ground, I am saying that the people from all walks of life, the people are saying that the Congress of the People are the only hope for South Africa.
It's the final push. It's that last stretch where any political party now has that moment of truth to actually reason with South Africans, to convince them, and to actually gather them in one space and convey that last message. Where are those people? Why are we not seeing those numbers here?
No, I want to clarify one thing. We have never said we are going to have a closing rally. We have said, even in our invitation, that this is a door-to-door, our last door-to-door, where we are going to ask people and plead with people to vote for COPE. After that, our President Mosiuoa Lekota will come and thank the foot soldiers, everybody who have worked tirelessly to campaign for COPE.